Greetings, Mega Man fans, and welcome back to the Mega Man Rock Force LPA. There's only 2 Robot Masters left, so in this episode, we'll be taking on Circuit Man. He's very red. And we already have an Iron coming to greet us. Oh, nice. And we have proceeded to slaughter him with no remorse. This stage... Well, first things first, the music is Kevin Stage 46. Another, Kevin song that is public domain. Very nice one, I like this tune. As for the stage itself, this is actually the very first stage completed for Mega Man Rock Force. It was actually completed as a class project when Goldwater was in college. So, this game has actually been in development for a lot longer than most people realize. And here we have a nice little obstruction. That dispenser up there will drop circuit blocks until it runs out of room, which means it only has enough room left to drop 1 block. You can destroy the blocks, and you can stand on them just fine. Just don't let them hit you in the head like that. It hurts. Won't kill you, but it hurts. And this enemy right here, this is Circuit. Silly little pun for a name. It's the Gabule of the game. Moves back and forth along the surface, speeds up when you line up with it. It's also vulnerable to the Buster, making it a lot easier to deal with than most Gabules. And now the circuit dispensers are used as obstacles that we have to go past with good timing. I like that. The circuit dispenser gimmick may be simple, but it gets a lot of use. Speaking of simple gimmicks, conveyor belt. How nice of it. How nice of it to ferry those screws towards me. As you can see, if you stand on it, it pushes you in the direction that it's facing. Simple gimmick, introduced very well. I can appreciate that. And I want that E-Tank. Gimme, mine. And now we're combining conveyor belts and circuit dispensers. Very nice. This stage is a lot quicker to throw things at you than past stages. This incidentally makes it probably one of the single most difficult of the original 8 Master Stages. Though I personally find Pulse Man to be trickier. Okay, there we go. That being said, this is a very spiky stage, so expect to die a lot. Assuming you haven't just turned off the instant death spikes, that is. Since you can do that. But if you haven't, well, coming here without Crypt Cloak or Shock Guards, probably not a very wise idea. Stage is still plenty doable though, don't get me wrong. And now the circuit dispensers have another new use. Besides combining with conveyor belts and being obstacles, now they're being used to build the path for us to get through a more vertically oriented room. Very interesting. I like these rooms. And I like how you've taken this simple gimmick and made an interesting little puzzle out of it. Like, kudos for that. I do wonder how I keep blowing up that one below the one I'm aiming at, though. That takes skill. And I can't advance. Well, fudge! Now what? Well, if I shoot to the left, I hit a light bulb, switching the blocks on and off. Shoot to the right, same thing. No matter which direction I shoot while I'm in front of these blocks, there's really no way for me to miss. It's actually you actually have to try to miss, which I can appreciate. Like, I can be expected to understand how the gimmick works now. Good thing, because, well, it's already getting spiky. It's nothing too bad, though. I find this room a fair bit easier than the one that we had dealt with just earlier. Oh, though that was really close. And this will also probably be fairly close. The timing for getting this right, not easy. If you don't trust your timing sense, I'd recommend bringing Crypt Cloak. Excuse me again. And in the process of excusing myself, I happened to accidentally trigger a gimmick. These circuit blocks, when you stand on them, after a few seconds, gravity takes over and pulls them down. Pretty solid antipiece, there's really no way you aren't going to get how it works. And down here, there's this one-up. It's not actually a complete trap. That being said, it is quite a challenge to get out of there without screwing up. I myself have failed at least once in a previous recording attempt. Incidentally, these larger circuits can appear at smaller sizes in hard mode. This makes the leaps a lot harder sometimes. And those explosive enemies that we saw were chip charges. They fall down when you pass by their specially marked locations, slam into the ground, flash, and then explode. They're less enemy and more obstacle. They're not much different functionally from these blocks. Oh, that was way too close for comfort. Oh, good. This part. That iron up there is kind of an accidental lifesaver. I so often just tank my way through that section rather than try to do the jump. Because, trust me, that is one of the hardest jumps in the entire game. And besides, they give us healing, so... And then I completely screw up on a low ceiling jump. Beautiful. Okay, take two. What the heck? I have my Buster charged, you silly game. Initially, the falling circuits, I don't actually recall them having sound when they fell. But they do now, which is a neat little thing. Okay, iron. Okay. And the health doesn't respawn. Pity, but oh well. There, didn't mess up the jump this time. That weapon tank down there is kind of a trap. You can get it safely without getting yourself killed. You need a weapon to do that. A weapon I don't have. And with that, we're through the stage. The stage here is, quite simply, it is one of my favorite stages in the game. As you all saw, as you may or may not have noticed, all of the gimmicks came back, however briefly, for that final room. There was that falling circuit block, circuit dispensers, there was the light bulb. Everything came back, however briefly, for that final room, which I really enjoyed. This stage is really all about the platforming, and I am okay with a good platforming challenge. I am very okay with a good platforming challenge. As you saw, I only died once, and it was something completely, utterly stupid. Anyway, enough about the level. It's time to fight Circuit Man. In the first run of the game, Circuit Man was a complete wimp. Now, though, not so much. If he raises an arm into the air, he is going to, throw a circuit breaker. If he lifts his both arms into the air, he's going to throw a circuit board at you. If he jumps and has his legs spread, he's going to throw circuit breakers beneath himself. And if he jumps and if he throws a circuit block high into the air, he's gonna jump and throw it at your face. He's a tricky one to fight, as evidenced. He can behave surprisingly well sometimes. I actually managed to accidentally perfect run him on camera once. But when he doesn't behave, he doesn't behave. He is probably the second hardest of the Rock Force enemies. He's the second hardest of the Robot Masters to kill in this game. Oh, I'm so glad he... uh-oh. Thankfully, most of his attacks, you can actually stand right in front of him and dodge semi-reliably. Thank goodness for small favors. Yeah! Circuit Man is not an easy boss. Again, you can do him, in fact, no damage if he behaves himself. But if he doesn't, well, all of you saw how fast his circuit breaker was coming out. So, to quickly go back over his tells, since I doubt I explained them very well, raising his arms up into the air and a circuit board comes up means one of two things. If the circuit board just flies upwards slowly and it just stops its ascent almost immediately, he's throwing it across the ground. If it flies way into the air, he's going to jump up and throw it directly at your face. If he jumps with his legs spread, he's throwing circuit breakers beneath himself. And if he lifts a single arm into the air, he's firing off that big circuit breaker combo of doom. And with that, we rescue Cutman! Yay! And we also managed to nick Circuit Man's weapon. The Circuit Breaker. It's powerful, it deals multiple hits, it hits both sides of you, and it's also another barrier-breaking weapon. Circuit Breaker is incredibly useful. Especially since it's also, I may or may not have mentioned it, but it's really freaking fast when it comes out. Anyway, time to quickly show off Cutman. Cutman is very, very happy. He also has weapons. His rolling cutter will fly forwards and then fly behind him, and he has can have a maximum of 3 on screen at once. When you've hit your maximum, you know because his cutter vanishes. If you aim upwards, he throws his cutter in an arc like this. Aim downwards, and he throws it along the ground. He's decent. He's not as powerful as his brothers are, or indeed most of the other members of the Rock Force, but as you can see, he can still get the job done. You just have to really know how to use him. Oh, right. I forgot to mention, he has his, Mega Man powered up wall jump. The reason I forgot to mention it is because it only helps in a few rare occasions. It's not the same usefulness as Electman's jump. Anyway, with that, I have shown all I need to show. So in the next episode, I've put it off long enough. It'll be finally time to put an end to Charade Man's shenanigans. So, until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I shall see you again for the next one. Until then, goodbye!